Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Divine Arm Vitality. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about the brain gut access. A lot of people say go with your gut, um, or I felt that in my gut. But I'm curious to know if you guys have ever thought about more of what that means. And I know for me, I didn't really understand this much. And excuse me, I'm looking at my notes because, I like to go everywhere. But I wanted to stay on topic today for this video. But for me, I know I didn't think about it much until I got older. Um, and so, by definition, one definition, the gut brain axis is a complex and bidirectional communication network that links the central nervous system, which is the brain and spinal cord, with the enteric nervous system, the gut's nervous system. This axis involves multiple pathways, including neural, hormonal, and immune signals, allowing the brain and gut to communicate and influence each other's functions. Now, some of the key components of the gut brain axis are neural pathways, and specifically speaking, the vagus nerve, the primary neural pathway connecting the brain and the gut. It transmits signals in both directions and plays a crucial role in regulating digestion, mood, and stress responses. Also, speaking on the enteric nervous system, often referred to as our second brain, the ENS is a vast network of neurons embedded in the gut wall. It controls digestive functions independently, but also communicates with the central nervous system. Hormonal pathways is the second key component of the gut brain axis, and this specifically involves neurotransmitters. So, chemicals like serotonin, dopamine, and uh, GABA aminobutyric acid, GABA for short, are produced in both the brain and the gut. Serotonin, for example, is involved in regulating mood and gut motility. Hormones, stress hormones such as cortisol can affect gut function, while gut-derived hormones can influence brain function. The third key component, immune pathways. Cytokines, these are signaling proteins released by immune cells. Inflammation in the gut can lead to the response of cytokines, which can influence brain function and contribute to conditions like anxiety and depression. The fourth key component is the microbiota gut brain axis. So the gut microbiota, the community of microorganisms living in the intestines, this plays a crucial role in the gut brain axis. These microbes produce metabolites such as short chain fatty acids that can affect brain function and behavior. Dysbiosis, or an imbalance of the gut microbiota, has been linked to various mental health disorders, including anxiety, depression, and autism spectrum disorders. So, this gut brain axis seems to be pretty big. Like I said, I didn't think too much about this until older. I got older in life. Um, but it seems like it's very much connected to a lot of the things. So happiness, it says that it can either, it has been linked to mental health disorders when things are not balanced in our gut and our brain. It seems to go hand in hand. Just reminding me, and I always say, everything is connected. So some of its functions and implications, some of the functions and implications of the gut brain axis is digestive health. So the gut brain axis regulates gastrointestinal motility, secretion, and blood flow. ensuring proper digestion and nutrient absorption. So, mental health, the access influences mood, stress responses, and cognitive functions. Immune function. The gut brain axis is involved in the regulation of immune responses. Chronic inflammation in the gut can impact brain health and vice versa. Stress response. So, stress can alter gut function, leading to issues like irritable bowel syndrome. So, again, a great example of how I always say everything is connected. So, I gave you a little bit of background on the brain gut axis because I do want people to know what it is. Maybe you've heard of it, but I honestly couldn't have told you the exact definition the beginning of the year last year. So this is this connection on paper and scientific connection is new for me. Um, However, issues with this connection is not new. So to give you a little personal story, and how this can affect people in real life, how it may affect you, and everyone's different, but how it's been affecting me. On my health journey, my own health journey, some of my biggest issues or challenges is honestly getting myself to sit down and eat. Um, I lose weight sometimes pretty quickly, sometimes too easy. It's not on purpose. And it used to frustrate me when people are like, how do you get that skinny? I'm not trying. But one of the first things for me, I was doing very well. I'm still, I don't want to shame myself because we all have our things. This life is not easy and they don't give us a manual. So just, hey, going along the journey, I take notes and see what's working for me and I see what's not working for me. So I was doing great, consistently been working out. Um, Consistently eating meals. My usual goal weight right now, my target goal weight is 130. So I was doing pretty well until about June, until about my birthday. And the what started happening was I was about 127 and I always get to around 127, start losing weight. It's because I stop eating. I get stressed. I have a lot to do. I am a single mom and an entrepreneur. So I not doesn't make an excuse, but I will stop eating. I have a lot to do through the day. I'll be running around and sometimes I'll just forget. A lot of the time if I'm stressed, I don't get hungry, I just won't stop. And that is a great way to mess myself up because the more I'm doing, I'm burning, you know what I mean? I'm depleting the what nutrients my body already has, because we store nutrients in our body so that we can go back tap into those reserves when we miss meals. That's why fat is stored. If you don't need it, it's stored in the body, and it's something that I don't get too much of, especially when I'm not eating. So I lean out at first, but once I get to a certain point, I'm just losing muscle. At that point, it's taking from what reserves that I have, and that's muscle. So um, when this time around, I noticed. So getting up to that 127, I was eating good meals. I will say I was meal prepping. I was doing very well with that, but again, life happens, stress hit. I wasn't meal prepping, so of course that took I took a hit there in eating. So I'm trying to eat things here and there, but still not the good nutritional meals that I need to feed myself to attain the body goals that I want. Let's say it that way. So when I was like, okay, I'm losing too much weight, let's get back on it. One of the things I do to bulk up quick is protein. I had, double down on the protein. That's protein bars. I love collagen peptides. That actually is a big help for me. I'll put it in bone broth. Um, but when I tried this time, I noticed I started with a protein bar, and it was I don't know. My little snacks. this type of protein bar. It was fine when I tried it a few weeks before I had tried it. I can't remember. I should have noted the date. It was like early June, um, before the 19th. I will say that. But I tried to eat it and it came right back up. I could not keep it down. So I did make a note of that. And I was like, hey, that's interesting. Shouldn't be that way, but I was like, maybe I need real food. So of course I did, but at the same time I wasn't processing that protein, so I did took a mental note. um and some other things that like I had trouble around eating, but I love cell salts. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Take a look at my cell salt playlist if you'd like to learn more. I'm building that up and we'll go over individual salts, but that's besides this video here. um, that was something to help me keep things down. But I also was wondering why I was having so much trouble. So I then tried to do my normal collagen peptides, and that did not stay down. When that did not stay down, I was like, oh, wow, I'm really having trouble processing proteins, because I know my body well. I do a lot of research around the body and how things should be processed. So I knew I wasn't processing proteins. And also, side note from this particular video, but on a cellular level, Cali Mur is one of those cell salts in our body that help, one of those inorganic cell salts that help break down proteins. So, and that's something I know that I can be deficient in a lot, that along with magnesium. Again, another story, but I just know myself well enough to say, oh, okay, there's an issue here. So I wanted to get to the root of the problem because, like I said, this had been a problem before. I've dealt with stomach issues before. It had gone away, but since it's back, biggest thing, I wasn't eating. So I knew I needed to eat, but eat what at this point? Because the things that high protein things that I know that I normally can process when I'm doing well can't right now. So that led me to sauerkraut and things like lamb. Lamb is an easier protein for me anyway to digest. So I did a lot of sauerkraut, lamb mixed together, eggs, raw onions. It was a nice mix. Did mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms. That is good for your microbiome, the health of your microbiome. So I just doing my research. I looked up other fruits. I've been staying away from fruits, and I can explain why in a different video. I do want to go in deeper to talk about how we digest things and how it should look, um, and what it may look like if things aren't being digested properly. So that'll come in the future. Um, but I really did want to share with you my own personal experience because I know for me, I'm a leaner person, you know. They say skinny mini sometimes. I don't like it. So we'll say lean. But for the leaner ladies and gentlemen, some people are, just slender. Um, Sometimes it's the body type. However, other times it can be malnutrition. Think about it. You're not, if you're stressed, which again, going back to stress, that's the first thing. I get stressed, I lose my appetite. I get stressed, I don't want to eat. I get sick to my stomach sometimes. I'm like, no, couldn't eat right now. But that is also, it's a catch 22 because me not eating, you not eating, it's only going to make you feel worse. It gives way to mood swings, fatigue. When you need a lot, when I'm doing a lot, like I need more to replenish myself to really do what I need to do throughout the day, do what I need to do for my daughter, business, all of that. So I just wanted to bring awareness, one, to eating patterns, eating habits. And if you are someone who's on the smaller side, who has trouble keeping weight on, it seems like you have trouble digesting foods, water passes right through you. That doesn't happen for me. I'm just giving examples, but especially food. Pay attention to what it looks like coming out too. That'll give you a good indication of where you're at. The color, like I don't mean to be nasty, but these are facts. Our body gives us so many signs to tell us what we need to give it. in order for it to get back to homeostasis so it can help us. That's all we need to do in the long run. Help us, help ourselves. That's actually it. I know it's easier said than done, but we need to help ourselves, help our bodies out so our bodies can help us do what we need to do what we're meant to do in this world and enjoy life. Because when we're especially getting hungry, you're going to be angry, but being not just hungry, eating and not absorbing our food, because that's what it comes down to when we're not secreting the proper hormones, the proper things. I don't want to get down into specifics in this video, but when we're not releasing the proper things to be able to digest our food, if our microbiome is not not where it should be, our stomach acids are not going to be strong enough to break down what we've mechanically broken down and chewed up and given to our, we push it through and it gets to our stomach. It's going to take a lot. And sometimes it can't get to it. And we won't get the nutrients that we worked so hard, our body worked so hard to try to digest it, but it just doesn't. It's tapped. It's tapped. And if it's still coming through, it's still coming out. That's a blessing, because a lot of people will experience constipation instead. And that's buildup within your body. So if you're a person who, even if you're not eating like you should, that you're not eating like you should, you can still retain weight. It can be held here. It might not go right out of your body, and that's not good either. So things that should have been expelled are not being expelled. And on top of that, you still couldn't absorb that proper nutrients because your microbiome, that gut microbiome, is not where it needs to be. So even if you're not a skinny or mini, and you're losing weight, but you don't feel like you're eating, in a way that would make you overweight or obese, some people may say, honestly, think about it. It still could be malnutrition, absorption and malnutrition. I'm not saying I'm not sitting here and diagnosing anyone, but I do want to just bring attention, because I don't it happened to me. I'm getting back on track. I'm gaining my weight, getting my weight back up when I started focusing on what foods are going to balance my microbiota, what's going to help my gut, what is going to be the best for my gut. So again, things like sauerkraut is great. The one I had, it had raw sauerkraut and fermented sauerkraut. It was balanced in a way that it had prebiotics, probiotics, and I think a little bit of postbiotics too. So, but you want to make sure you're having all these things to feed the bacteria in your gut in a healthy way. I also alkaline water. I don't know. I know a lot of people are on an alkaline water kick, but out of a but like for someone who's trying to build up their microbiome, their gut health, I would think twice. I would do your research, talk to your doctor about it too. The research I did led me to, and I acted on this. I do less alkaline water, especially out of a plastic bottle. And it's good to get away from plastic too, but I still will drink out of plastic because it's just what I gotta do right now. But for me, the alkaline water was not helping my gut at all. It might feel like it's helping, but in the long run, it's not supporting the acids that we need to keep our guts healthy and happy. And in turn, since we learned that it's the gut brain axis, it's connected, it's going to help. It's going to help mentally, physically. It's connected again. So, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of facts and some food for thought. Um, this is the Best Made. This is my go-to company right now. Best Made Natural Products. Sorry, my camera is having trouble focusing, but that's Callie Murr. You guys can look into things yourself, for cell salts. But that's honestly the quickest and easiest way for me to get myself back on track. It starts on a cellular level. Cell salts go right into your bloodstream, so it doesn't have to go to your stomach to be absorbed and utilized by the body. It goes straight into the bloodstream because it's broken down in such a way that our bodies are just able to absorb. And that starts helping the process along. And then I love to follow it up with food because we really should be getting our nutrients from our food. Now it's hard to find good food these days, but got to start somewhere. So that's a few tidbits. That's, I think, all I have to share today. So again, I challenge you guys to go ahead and do your own research. Make sure you are listening to your bodies. It's telling you something. If it feels like an ache and pain, all right, it's time to get to work. What is that? What is your body trying to tell you? So thanks for tuning in, guys. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your evening or day whenever you're seeing this. But thanks for tuning in. Talk to you soon.